All right, welcome back to Mr. P Helps with Calculus. This is Unit 0, quiz number 2 review. So we're going to go through some of these questions, maybe not every single one for the sake of the time. It says, find the x and y intercepts of the graph of the following equations. Now, when you're finding the x-intercept, you're going to simply make y 0. And when you're trying to find the y-intercept, you're going to make x 0. So if you want to find the y-intercept, all you have to do is plug 0 in for x. So 2 times 0 minus y minus 3 equals 0. So 2 times 0, that basically just cancels out. I'm going to add 3 to both sides, and that gives me negative y is 3. And then divide both sides by negative 1, and that tells me that y is negative 3. All right, and then if I want to find the x-intercept, I would do the opposite. So I would replace y with 0, so that's 2x minus 0 minus 3 equals 0, and solve this equation. So minus 0, that's nothing, okay? So minus 3, so if I add 3 to both sides, add 3 over here, and then I've got 2x equals 3, and then divide both sides by 2, and then x is 3 halves. Okay? Same thing goes for this question. It's pretty much exactly the same. So if you want to find the x-intercept, put 0 in for y. If you want to find the y-intercept, put 0 in for x and solve. All right, so I'm going to clear that out. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do it since I do have the time. I'll do 2 of these. So for the x-intercept, once again, I'm going to put 0 in for y and then solve. So it is quadratic, so next thing I'm going to do is look to see if it is factorable. Sorry, the pen's not working so great here. So I'm going to look to see if this is factorable. Are there any two numbers? Yeah, it looks like it's going to be x plus 8 and x minus 2 is going to give us negative 16. And then I can set each factor equal to 0 and solve. So it looks like we're going to get an answer of negative 8 and positive 2 are the two x-intercepts. So keep in mind that a graph can have more than one x-intercept. It's not going to have more than one y-intercept because that would, by definition, not make it a function. So y-intercept, so we have y equals 0 squared plus 6x minus 16. Obviously, 0 squared is going to cancel. So we just need to do the 6x. Oh, so y equals 6x minus 16. And it looks like that is it. Sorry, realized my mistake. So I'm supposed to replace x's with zeros. So, sorry, it was confusing me there for a split second. So 6 times 0, that also eliminates. So, sorry, not supposed to put x there. So x squared, so that's 0 squared plus 6 times 0 is also nothing. So y equals 6. That makes more sense. All right, so it's the y-intercept would be at 6. So in that case, the y-intercept would be at 0, 6. Okay, so maybe I didn't make that clear. So then over here, so we have 2 x-intercepts, so that would be at negative 8. So negative 8, 0. And the other one would be at 2, 0. Okay, so clear that out. And let's take a look at the next set of questions. So it says, write the equations of the lines that pass through the given point, parallel and perpendicular to the given slope of the equation. So if it's parallel to this, it's going to have the exact same slope. If it's perpendicular, it's going to be the negative reciprocal. So flipped would be 1/2. So this is parallel and this is going to be perpendicular. So parallel I know is going to be, so A is for parallel. So that's, I know it's going to be y equals negative 2x plus or minus something. And then for the perpendicular, I know it's going to be y equals 1/2 x plus something. So I already have the slopes for both. Now, the y-intercept, what I need to do now is solve for it. So what I can do is I can take my x and my given y, plug it into y equals mx plus b, and solve for the y-intercept. So y equals m, which is negative 2, times x, which is negative 3, and then add b to it. Now I can just simply solve for the y-intercept, and then that's what goes at the end. So negative 2 times negative 3 is 6. And then if I subtract 6 from both sides, I get negative 2. Now over here, so y equals m times x plus b. So this is going to be negative 3 halves equals 4. So I'll keep in mind that 4 is the same as 8 halves if I want to write it in halves, so it's I can add here. So if I add 3 halves to both sides, then I end up getting 11 halves. So plus 11 halves is going to be my answer there. All right, I'm going to show one more of these. So let's take a look at the next question as I pull it up. So this time we have 2 points. Okay, so a little bit different this time. So this time what I'm going to need to do is find the slope first by doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 6 minus 2 over 4 minus, oh sorry, that was 6 minus negative 2, which is really 6 plus 2. And 4 minus 2 on bottom. So that becomes 8. 8 over 2 is 4. So we now know the parallel one is going to be y equals 4x plus or minus something, and the perpendicular is going to be 1/4 x, because it's the same thing, negative reciprocal. No, negative 1/4, sorry, negative 1/4. All right, so now I can find the y-intercept of each. I can use whichever point I want. I'm going to use the 4, 6 because they're both positive. So that's y equals m times x plus b. So 4 times 4 is 16. Subtract 16 from 6, you get negative 10. I know I'm not showing every single step, so I am talking you through it though. So over here we've got y equals m times x, which is 4, plus b. So negative 1/4 times 4 is negative 1, and then if you add 1 to both sides, you get 7. So that one should be 7 for the y-intercept. Now, same process for these. Only difference is for the next one, because I do see that it is going to be a little bit different because it's in standard form. So the first thing you're going to want to do is change this to slope-intercept form. So you can see the slope. First thing I would do is subtract 3x from both sides. That gives me y equals negative 3x, and then add 5 to both sides. So that's going to be the slope-intercept form. So you know the parallel one's going to have the same slope, and you know the perpendicular one's going to have the negative reciprocal slope. Now, from there, you need to, once again, use your point by plugging it in. Y equals... oh, that was negative 3? Oh, sorry. Let's see. So this is negative 3 right there. So negative 3 times x, which is 3 plus b. So that's negative 9. Add 9 to both sides makes that 16. Hopefully there's no mistakes there. So over here we've got 7 equals 1/3, positive 1/3, because that's the negative reciprocal, times x, which is 3 plus b. So once again, y equals. Okay, so that's 1, and subtract 1, you get 6. So that ends up being 6. Now, the last one is already in slope-intercept form, so it's the same steps. I'm going to skip that one due to time. I'm going to push this to the side, and let's go to question number 3. So now we're talking about those composite functions. So they give us 2 functions. They give us x squared plus 2, which is f of x, and 2x minus 3, which is g of x. First question says to simply add f of x plus g of x. So that's x squared plus 2, and then you're adding 2x minus 3. Now, the parentheses here aren't needed, so you're just combining everything. So x squared plus 2x, and then minus 1, and there's your composite function of the 2. So honestly, the left questions seem a little bit more straightforward than the right, so I think I'm going to spend a little bit more time. This just means you subtract this minus this. Now, keep in mind, order matters with subtraction. So make sure you put this one first, because when you do x's, 0x's minus 2x's is negative 2x should be in your answer. And then we have a multiply one. So just foiling for that last one, so I'm going to show that one. So x squared plus 2 times 2x minus 3. So it's just a matter of foiling first, outer, inner, last. So x squared times 2x is 2x cubed. Minus 3x squared on the outside, and then what, plus 4x for the inners, and minus 6 for the last. And that cannot be simplified, so that ends up being the answer. Now, for the f of, if you just watched the last video that I just did, I just sort of went over this. So g of f of x means you're taking the f of x function and replacing it in for x, because g of x, looks like that. So instead of an x there, it has f of x. So you're literally taking this function and putting it right there. So that's 2 times, you're putting this right here, so that's x squared plus 2, and then minus 3 from that. So that's 2x squared plus 4 minus 3, and then you can simply take the constants and add them together. So that's just 1. And now the same thing for f of g of x, which means you're going to take this and you're going to plug it in there. So that means this is 2x minus 3 squared, and then add 2 to it. So squaring this is going to give you 4x squared minus 12x plus 9, and then add 2 to it, and then that just combines the constants into 4x squared minus 12x plus 11. All right, last question. We have f of g of 4. Okay, so now they're telling us it's g of 4. So the first thing I need to do is figure out, well, what is g of 4? So that would be 2 times 4 minus 3. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. So if g of 4 is 5, did I do that right? Yes. So then I'm taking 5 and plugging it in here, because that's literally what it says if I pull it up. So we already found g of 4 literally is 5, so really now we're just doing f of 5. So what is f of 5? So that would be 5 squared plus 2. So f of 5 is, f of 5 is 25 plus 2, which is 27. There's your answer. 27 is the final response. All right, and that pretty much sums up all of these questions. I think we got to most of them, almost all of them. So thanks again for watching, and please let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Have a great day.